For maybe the past 10 years or 15, I suppose, at the very least, there's been a running idea or a running notion. I wouldn't call it a running notion, maybe just a predisposed idea in the back of people's minds that those who take the unconventional route or the unconventional path, the road less taken, those people somehow are the ones that bring about the biggest change in the societal structure of our civilization. That those are the people that actually matter in the grand scheme of things. They are the ones that actually end up doing what is successful, what is considered successful by society at large. I think ideas such as that are the main reason why a lot of people tend to take grand risks, and the real the reality of the situation is that most of these risks don't actually end up working out for them. They don't work out in their favor. And when you take these risks, you have a grand sense of idea, a grandeur illusion about yourself. Taking these risks is sort of it's a very romanticized idea, but most often than not, these risks don't work out. When you consider the societal structure at large, if you want to be a successful individual, yes, the biggest idea, the biggest way, the smartest or the best, the easiest, most efficient way to actually get to the top of society itself is to graduate from college, to graduate from a good university, because getting into a good university in itself is extremely tough. Graduating from a good university with a good degree in something that actually pays you, preferably in something related to STEM. When you graduate in such fields, and if you have high scores, if you have good scores, you would be lined up with opportunities such as extraordinary jobs, extraordinary opportunities at networking with extraordinary people. It's just extraordinary, extraordinary, extraordinary things over and over again. And the people who get a head start in that are the ones that actually rise to the better half of the society. From there, you go to a master's. You go to a master's in something, a postgraduate degree, a PhD, something like that, that actually ends up putting you even above what an average person would be in the average society. And most people, when they talk about, no, you don't have to do a professional degree, you don't have to follow what society is doing, you don't have to go about the norms, are the ones that are actually not into it. It's very rare that you would find an individual who has not followed the societal norms and still was able to do something grand for the society itself. Let's just take any human being, for example, Einstein. Einstein, he went to, uh, he studied at a very prestigious university himself. Um, if I'm not wrong, I might just be completely wrong about this because I'm not sure about Einstein's. If he's the exception, let me know. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, people quote these two as if there were some exceptional people, but sorry, if there were some exceptional people who were dropouts and they did not have a college degree and yet they did all of this. The point is that they were Harvard dropouts. They were dropouts from, if one of the, if not the biggest, the most well-renowned university in the entire world. It's not just about that. The fact is, when you're in a place like Harvard, even if you're a dropout from Harvard, when you tell people that I'm a dropout from Harvard, it's a sign that you are a valuable individual. And these signs are what we live for. And a person who doesn't have a sign, a symbol backing them up, that person does not have any power. It's very hard to create power for yourself. It's very hard to go against the system and yet rise to the top. I have chosen an unconventional path for myself, and every single day I am faced with the reality that it's very difficult. And the people that you looked up to, the ones who chose the unconventional path and were able to change the world, do this and this and yada yada yada. And I don't know. All those people, when you start looking at their histories and their backgrounds, you realize a lot of them had a lot of things that are not going for you. They had, I don't want to say this, but they had an unfair advantage. I come from a country that cannot compete on a global, where just the pricing of the things that are used here, I can't compete with the global scale. I can't compete on a global scale. There is a thing such as an unfair advantage, and the people who deny it are the ones living in a delusional world. They're living in a la la land. I don't know. It's difficult uh, to stand up for yourself in this world with no symbols to back you up. Those who choose an unconventional path, those who choose to follow the road less taken, your road is also going to be filled with a lot of obstacles because it's not been taken. There is no clear path ahead of you. You can't just google your solution out of this. There are no solutions on the internet, there are no solutions anywhere. You have to create a solution on your own because you chose an unconventional path, a path not traveled, a road less taken. That's the price that you have to pay. And I think it's very important for us as a species to realize that just glorifying the idea of taking an unconventional path does not do it. There's a reason these conventional paths exist, and I think maybe I'm just in the middle of a crisis because of my choice, my sense of illusion, this grandeur illusion that I had of of going on the road less taken, and maybe that risk did not pay off. So here I am, just understanding what uh, life is all about. It's not just a romanticized idea that you, grand risks are always going to pay off. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes you end up in situations where you can't just get yourself out of it. And I think if you another person on the internet are seeing this and you also have taken the road less taken, the path is going to be difficult for you. The path is going to be not just difficult for you, the path is going to be unknown for you. If you genuinely have nobody around you who is doing the same things as you are, maybe you're alone, but maybe you will carve out a path that others will follow in the later years. And I think that's very necessary and important for us to remember because some of us are at a point where we can't just turn back. It's very important for the people who've taken an unconventional path to genuinely stick to it and travel the entire road.